There's been so much talk about human smuggling and illegal immigration, but tonight, in a new twist, we're joined by Arizona Republic reporter who broke the eye-opening story about alleged human smuggling by some Arizona Christian University football players. Jason Wolf joins me now to talk about the 18-month investigation. This happened back in 2020 and 21. Give us an idea of exactly what happened first.
Right, so it was happening
because there's a lot of layers.
There is a lot of this. We could talk for the whole newscast and then some. What happened was in February of 2023, when the Super Bowl was here, a former quarterback from Arizona Christian University reached out to me, told me about this story, laid out the story that there was human smuggling happening among football players on the team. The story, as it was told on azcentral.com, begins with two ACU football players in January 2022 borrowing a car from a teammate, driving to Bisbee, being caught by DPS with an injured migrant woman in the back seat of the vehicle. The DPS officer called for Border Patrol and an ambulance. Border Patrol arrested the two students and within a matter of hours released them without criminal charges because according to public records of the COVID-19 pandemic and their lack of prior criminal history. And this was in accordance with Tucson sector guidelines.
So it sounds like a case of selective prosecution.
Absolutely. There were 18 incidents in 48 hours. 18 traffic stops in Tucson sector that resulted in arrests for human smuggling. 26 people were arrested in those 18 incidents, and then at least 7 of them, according to the public records, were released without charges for the very same reason.
All right, and look, if this was happening, let's say it happened at a big power school like Alabama or Georgia, and you find out that football players are being paid $1,000 a pop to go down to the border, smuggle an illegal immigrant back to Glendale in this case, that school would be put on probation. But in this case, the NAIA, which is the governing body for smaller schools like this, like ACU, has decided not to investigate.
Correct. The NAIA told the Republic that they will not investigate. It contradicts a statement made by the commissioner of the Frontier Conference, who said that they would monitor the NAIA's investigation and then appropriate action would be taken following that, depending on the findings. The NAIA told me today that they spoke with the conference to let them know that there was no investigation that was going to be happening.
And in your mind, because you do sports investigations, does this point to, because we've heard it with schools in the NCAA and Division I schools, a lack of institutional control, that a program could just say, we didn't know anything about this?
It is surprising that I was able to find multiple incidents of alleged human smuggling by football players on the same team. Now, this is bigger than an ACU issue, right? This is an issue affecting high school and college-age kids throughout Arizona who are being recruited on social media by these transnational smuggling organizations. Kids are being recruited in person by their friends and even teammates, obviously. And so it's something that I think parents, coaches, community leaders need to be aware of, that this is happening right under their noses, and pay a little bit closer attention to what's going on here.
And 20 to 25% you learned of these encounters are not prosecuted?
Well, that was the estimate that was shared with me by John Maudlin, the chief patrol agent of Tucson sector. That was backed up by Gary Restaino in my interview with him. He's the U.S. attorney for the District of Arizona. Those were estimates. Again, there were 26 arrests made for human smuggling in a 48-hour period, according to incident reports that we were able to obtain. Of those 26, 7 were released. 13, only half of them were kept pending prosecution. And Border Patrol doesn't release numbers on the total number of arrests that they make. The U.S. Attorney's Office does release numbers on prosecutions. They average 2 to 4 human smuggling operations, human smuggling prosecutions per day. That's far less, obviously, than an average of 13 arrests.
All right. Well, it's an incredible investigation. I would encourage you to read it. almost like an Uber for human smuggling.
Kind of like Uber is the title, and that was a direct quote from the Chief of Border Patrol.
Unbelievable. Thanks for coming down tonight.
Appreciate you for
Shedding
having
some
me.
light on
Thank
this.
you.
All right.